Hello, all of my UMBWs. Tonight's conversation is about being fabulous in 2026, financial fabulosity. Yes, if you were around in the early 2000s, you probably heard the term fabulosity from Kamora Lee Simmons. Yes, we're borrowing it this evening from her. I'm going to put the 90-second clock on, and then we're going to talk about the 10 steps that UMBWs are going to use starting now in order to have financial fabulosity next year. So here's a 90-second clock, and then we're going to get started with tonight's show. Welcome to Black Women Making Money. We are the home of the upwardly mobile Black woman. For exclusive content and invitations to our Inner Circle Zoom meetings, which happen on a monthly basis, you can sign up for free for our email newsletter at bwmakingmoney.com. That's bwmakingmoney.com. Good evening, ladies. How are you doing today? If you are in the mood to be fabulous, financially fabulous in 2026, throw a 1 in the chat for me. If you're listening to the replay, put a 1 in the comments. So that way also YouTube will know that you are enjoying tonight's session. We're going to talk about the 10 moves that our UMBWs need to start making now so that you can be financially fabulous in 2026. And yes, Fabulosity is from Kamora Lee Simmons. If you were around in the early 2000s, she had her book called Fabulosity. We took it, we revised it, we UMBW'd it in order to have tonight's discussion. Tonight's discussion isn't going to be long, honestly. It's what I feel are like the 10 things that you should be doing now, thinking about now. I don't know about you. I started planning for 2026 a month ago. I am a business owner. Most business owners were starting their 2026 planning in September and October. Okay. So if you own a business and you have not started your 2026 planning, you're running a little late. So I definitely suggest you start that now. If you are a UMBW, today is December 1st. If you're a UMBW, you want to start your 2026 planning now. And what I'm going to talk about tonight are the things that you can do despite the recession, despite the politics. We've got the midterm elections coming up. We've got a lot of stuff happening in 2026 that is going to be here to distract us. In order for us to be financially fabulous, we need to be on our game. And tonight's conversation is like a little bit of what I'm doing, and I suggest you consider doing so that you can be financially fabulous. Now, let's talk about what financial fabulosity is. In my opinion, financial fabulosity is where we can, for example, go to the gas station and not be, oh my goodness, is the card going to go through? You can go to the grocery store, pick up whatever you want to pick up in the grocery store, and not be worried when you swipe the card if it's going to go through. You have enough money for an emergency. You have enough money in order to be able to network. We're going to talk about that tonight. You have enough money in order to be able to level up, and you use that money in order to monkey branch. You use the resources that you have today, no matter what the resources are that you have today, to monkey branch and to level up. That is financial fabulosity from the UMBW point of view. I see y'all in here. If y'all could put a one in the chat for me, please. Put a one in the chat so that way YouTube can know you are liking the conversation thus far. Also, put a one in the chat. Let me know if you intend to be financially fabulous in 2026. Okay. Princess of the Light is here. Thanks for going live. You'll have to catch the replay. No problem. Ice Coco is here giving me a one. Thank you so much. I hope other ladies, you'll give me a one as well in the chat. And I'm going to go over the comments of the evening that I have for you with regards to the 10 steps that you can do for financial fabulosity in 2026. So the first thing is you need to decide on what your 2026 financial goal is. For me, I own a business. So my financial goal is with regards to my revenues in the business, which really for me is with regards to the amount of loans that I intend to do in 2026. For you, you may be a W-2. For you, it could be getting that promotion, getting that raise, moving to a new company. Don't think just because of the recession and the market is slow that nobody is hiring. That's not the truth. That's not true. You can reach your financial fabulosity in 2026, or at least get part of the way there. You need to decide on what your 2026 financial goal is. Maybe the goal, here's one of my other goals, is to pay off debt, pay off high interest credit cards. Maybe your 2026 financial goal is to have enough money in order to do certain types of networking. The Bible says that without a vision, the people will perish. The truth is that if we don't have a vision for the amount of money that we have and what we want to do with that money in our finances, so that way we can get to the next level. I hate that term, but that's what I'm going to call it right now. If you don't have that clear in your head, what that looks like for you, who you need in your corner, what you need them saying about you, how you're going to navigate, you will never reach financial fabulosity. It'll never happen. Hey, Sid, thanks so much for the one. Thank you so much. So, first things first, you got to decide on what your 2026 financial goal is. Sometimes you know immediately what the goal is. Sometimes you have to really sit and think about it. Sometimes it takes you a couple of weeks to really think about it. So that's why you want to start right now. Number two, you need to know where you are today financially. So step number one is decide where you're going. Step number two is where are you today? When was the last time you really took a look at your bank statement or statements? Your credit card statements, other financial things that you have going on, your bills that you're past due on, because sometimes that happens, right? Part of being financially fabulous is like getting organized financially. What's going on with your 401k? I had to had to do that last week where I couldn't get into my 401k. I didn't know what was happening with it. I had to take some time. It ended up only taking me 20 minutes, but I had to call the 800 number in order to figure out what was happening with my 401k. Some of you need to look closely at your benefits if it's still open enrollment time for you, right? So the first step is deciding what your goal is going to be for 2026 financially. And that doesn't just mean paying off debt, it also means where you want to go, how you want to accelerate. Then, once you figure that out, you got to know where you are today so we can bridge that gap. Okay. Step three is every UMBW needs a spending, saving, and investing plan. This is a UMBW spending, saving, and investment plan. Notice I didn't say budget, even though it is budgeting, right? The reason why I wanted to separate it because financial fabulosity is where are you spending your money? You earn, for example, $90,000, you're going to spend your money in certain places. Sometimes some of it's going to go to rent, but some of it is going to go to other things for you to be upwardly mobile. I want you to think about that. The first thing that a Dave Ramsey would say is pay off all your debt. We're UMBWs over here. We want financial fabulosity. My suggestion to you is the first thing you do is where you spend your money on your skills and your networks. Why? Because yes, if you reduce your credit card, let's say you have a $5,000 balance on your credit card, and you get it paid down to zero, then that's great. However, if the opportunity cost is you could have taken that $5,000 and put it to a certification and some sort of soft skills training that would have increased your income $15,000, then I'd rather you spend your money to get the increase in income because it's $15,000 times however many years you're going to be working in the workplace versus just paying off the $5,000. UMBWs start with a spending plan. How are you going to spend your money to level up, to be financially fabulous? I want you to tell me, because we got some ladies here this evening, tell me how you're going to spend your money in 2026 to be financially fabulous. What are some of the things you're going to do in 2026 to monkey branch to be financially fabulous? I'll tell you one of the things that's on my spending plan. My boss has been telling me for 2 years to come to a specific conference. Guess what? In 2026, Cherie will be at that conference. Cherie's going to be at that conference. I made up my mind. I made a decision that next year I'm going to that conference. Why? Because there's a whole bunch of people in that conference that I want to know who I am. 2026, most of you know I'm a loan officer. I have my own business. 2026, I intend to do a huge social media push for my business with certain things. I chose my avatar and things like that. I spent $211 today on Fiverr in order to get some downloadable PDF stuff done. I went to ChatGPT. I worked with ChatGPT. ChatGPT was giving me garbage in the very beginning. I'm like, no, that's not what I want you to write. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. Finally struggled enough with ChatGPT in order to get it the way that I wanted it. Yes, work slop does exist. I'm telling you that right now. And it's not because I don't know how to prompt. ChatGPT sucks in some areas. But my spending plan was I'm going to spend this $211 today so I can monkey branch so that I could grow my income so that I could spend more money in order to monkey branch even more. Okay. UMBWs have spending plans. We have savings plans. I'm not telling you to spend all your money and not have any money left over. That's not the case. We do want to have some money for emergency savings, and we also want to think about investing as well. So, the UMBW spending plan includes a $1,000 to $3,000 emergency fund minimum. Yes, there are a lot of people who say, hey, you know what? You should have 6 months, 9 months in an emergency fund. It depends on your job and if your job is shaky or not. If your job is shaky, then yes, you want to have 6 to 9 months. If you have a pretty stable job and you're looking to monkey branch and be financially fabulous by monkey branching in 2026, then you definitely want to have $1,000 to $3,000 in emergency fund in case something happens, your tire blows out or something like that. You're not huffing and puffing at the grocery store like, oh my goodness, I can't get the second carton of eggs or whatever it is. And then you want to spend your money on monkey branching activities. Hey, Ashlove, how you doing? All right, number 5, UMBW spending plan is skill stacking and career coaching. Skill stacking and career coaching, and we've been talking about that this evening. Monkey branching, putting our dollars, our coins, our mental thoughts, our focus on skill stacking and career coaching. Some of you do and should have a career coach, and that's where some of your money should be going to, strategically working with a career coach who knows how you can map out your next 5 years of your career. Because again, if that coach can get you another $10, $15, $20,000 a year by helping you navigate, negotiate your salary, suggest you get this specific certification and you market it this way on LinkedIn and you get connected with these recruiters, and all of a sudden you're making another $15,000 a year, that's money well spent. Don't forget that skill stacking is your technical skills and your soft skills. We need to be investing in both. Sometimes you need to invest more in technical skills. Sometimes you need to invest more in soft skills. Cherie this year is investing in, well, I've always invested in career coaching, especially since I've been a loan officer, but I'm actually investing a lot more in technical skills this year. And one of the big technical skills I'm investing in is how to actually market on social media a lot more and a lot better. The UMBW spending plan has money set aside for monkey branching. Let's see what you all are saying in here. Adrian's in the building. Good evening. My girl Notary World is in here. Good evening. Good evening to all of you ladies. All right. So, yes, that's step number 5. Our spending plan includes our skill stacking and our career coaching. Next thing we've got here. The next thing the UMBW spending plan has is a net worth network. You're going to be spending money in order to network to grow your net worth. I said earlier this evening, UMBW spending plan, the very first thing that's on our spending plans is the money that we need outside of, very first thing is your emergency fund, $1,000 to $3,000 unless your job is shaky. Once you get past that, the very next thing on your UMBW spending plan is skills and networks. What are the things I need to do for skills and networks? Do you have conferences on your spending plan? That's part of how you become financially fabulous. Y'all can tell me in the comments what What networks are you joining in 2026? Financial fabulosity does not come from staying at home, right? You got to be out in the street a little bit, you know? So, um, what are you investing in order to increase your net worth? Who are you going to be hanging around with, right? Are you joining an association? Are you going to a meetup? Some of you may say, Cherie, I don't have a lot of money. I'm just getting started in my career. Great. It's part of your spending plan is your time and your gas, but you have to be out there networking. And then as you get higher and higher, in order to monkey branch, you need to be seen and you need to network with people who can actually help you monkey branch. We've continuously said it on this channel that the supermajority of jobs that are gotten these days is because you know the right person. And more importantly, the right person knows you. Because when the right person knows you, you're not going into the job interview arguing about whether or not I'm qualified, DEI, all of this stuff. They're like, no, we want you. Tell us how much you want in order to take this job. But guess what? You have to invest. Part of financial fabulosity, again, is investing in your net worth network. Let's see what you ladies are saying here. Purple Rain is in the building. Formal and informal networks. That is absolutely correct. I'm glad you mentioned informal networks because, yes, sometimes you need to invest in going to dinner with somebody, going to lunch with somebody. In our coaching program that I belong to for my loan officers, they're even talking about instead of going to dinner, like inviting people out on a walk, you know, hey, let's go to the track and walk and talk at the same time. You want to talk about being financially fabulous, you know, getting to the bag, growing your net worth, thus growing your net worth. You know, you need to actually strategically grow those informal networks as well. Good point, Purple Rain. Hello, Main Femme Fatale. Bonjour to you. Notary World is saying, hi, Cherie, I'm thinking about getting my EA license. I already do taxes. Girl, get it. Get it. Taxes are not going anywhere. I don't care what's happening with AI or anything like that. People will always have IRS issues. And you already have the trust of people because you already do notaries. Speaking of, I got my notary approval. So I got to get my virtual notary so that way I can make money sitting at my desk. But yes, thank you so much, Notary World. Name from Vital is saying, I'm investing in my fitness, social life, and technical skills. Yes, and investing is always your time and your money. Okay. And you will get I want to talk about fitness for a second. The halo effect is real. When you look the part, when you look good, when we're a size 6, 8, 10, 12, maybe 14, depending on how you carry your weight, you do get paid more. When your hair is put together, your makeup is on. I had my lipstick on, but it went off. It came off earlier in the afternoon, and I forgot to reapply. But it is true that you get paid more. If you need to lose 40 pounds, then putting your money towards that and your time towards that is going to pay off in spades. That is part of being financially fabulous. So, Purple Rain is saying learning how to swim, golf, and other hobbies in general. This is very true. Ashley is saying I'm joining in an honor society. Good for you. Notary World is saying I see a lot of notaries that have Ron in their state are making money. Cali will not be eligible until 2030. I don't know what Cali is doing, but fortunately, Ron is available in Maryland. So your girl's going to she's going to have to get the rest of her paperwork done for that. So All right, let's talk about the next thing we're investing in. We are investing in, we already started talking about this, our health and beauty regimen, spending plan. The UMBW spending plan does include money for your health and beauty. I went out a couple of days ago. I needed a new kind of lipstick, or new color of lipstick because I was like missing a certain shade. So, yes, I spent the $14 because of the specific type of lipstick that I really like that doesn't break my lips out. So, yeah, I spent the $14 at Ulta on my specific lipstick that I was looking for. Head to toe, you do need to invest money in looking the part as much as possible. Sometimes, y'all know I was a lot broker earlier this year, so I was doing my own mousse, my own curls popping and things like that. You may have to get on YouTube and find some videos of the ladies doing natural hair and work it out. But we do need to spend money on our health and beauty. Health is important as well because the truth is, if you are not healthy, it is harder to make money. If you're not healthy, it is harder to make money. So, yes, the UMBW spending plan, the Fabulosity spending plan, does include money allocated for health as well as beauty. Nice clothing, my cute glasses here. I got my other sparkly red glasses. You know how many people give me compliments on my sparkly red glasses? My boss now is like, you need some green glasses, because green and pink is my brand colors for my business, right? So yeah, you have to put money towards that. Adrian is saying, I have a good 50 pounds to lose. I know a few people who take the shots, but I want to do it the old fashioned way. I want to do it the old fashioned way as well, but I don't, I don't have a problem with people doing it their way. If you want to take the shots, if you want to do gastric bypass or anything like that, that is a personal decision for you and your doctor. But yeah, I mean, it is important. It is important. Sephora has makeup classes. So I didn't know that. I haven't been to a Sephora in forever. I go to Ulta. I'm an Ulta girl. So, um, and the department stores still teach about makeup and fragrance and the whole nine. Yes. So investing your time, investing your money when you go and get the makeup, if whomever does it well and you like the products, definitely purchase something, even if it's small, from that person that did your makeup for you or the fragrances, because a lot of those ladies are paid on commission as well. So, if they do a good job for you, we want to support them, even if it's just a little bit in a little way. Like, hey, I can't buy everything you put on me, but I'm going to buy this lipstick from you, or I'm going to buy this blush, or whatever it is. So, Main from Fatala saying, where I live, there is a yacht club that offers sailing lessons, and I plan to invest in learning to operate a boat this summer. I love it. Love it. Purple Rain is saying, in terms of health, dietitians have more credentials in schools than nutritionists. Anybody can say they're a nutritionist, but in RD dietitians have a degree. Okay. So this is what you want to invest in. Definitely want to invest in that. Next thing is, once you have your monkey branching, plan set, right? Health, beauty, skills, career coaching, networking money, things like that. We do want to start paying off that high interest credit card debt. Pay it off, pay it down, etc. Right? I do have especially one credit card where every month I have to pay the interest on it. And I'm just like, damn, I can't wait to get out of this specific credit card because I'm just like, it's a damn shame, right? But being financially fabulous over time means we get out of debt. It does. It does. Um, The next thing, UMBW spending plan, is picking the right insurance and the right protection. I just finished open enrollment time at my company. Some of you may still have open enrollment time, but I was looking at everything: my health insurance, dental, vision, HSA plans, like if something happens to me catastrophic, fortunately, I'm a pretty healthy person, but if something happens to me catastrophic, am I going to at least not be wiped out financially? Especially because I own a home. I don't want my home to be in jeopardy because I get into a catastrophic medical issue. So if we're taking care of ourselves physically, meaning we're working out, we're eating healthy, then you're just worried about like, hey, let me make sure that catastrophically I'm taken care of. My company fortunately even had things like long-term care. I'm 50. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get long-term care. I got short-term disability, like every insurance they had, I think except for one, I ended up getting. I was just like, I'm just going to stack on the insurance. The other big thing is if you have children, I cannot say this enough. Check your beneficiaries on everything, especially if you have children and you recently got divorced, recently got married, things changed in your life. The person who you had as your beneficiary should not be your beneficiary anymore. Every time I talk to an HR person, they tell me the nightmare story when I ask them about this. They all have nightmare stories of a woman, a UMBW who passes, she has underage children, and the money goes to her ex husband, who is not the father of those children. So, especially my UMBWs that have kids, I can't say it enough. Check your beneficiaries on everything. Everything. So, Purple Rain is saying check APR. This is true. The APR I have for these cards are 18%. One of them I don't really put too much money on, but one of them is close to 30%. Like I said, I don't put too much money on that one. That one is for like my gas, and I pay that one off every month. So it's like, how you have the throwaway credit card where you're just like, if they're going to hack any credit card, it's going to be this one because there's like $500 limit on it. Like that's my 30% card. So, but yeah, check your APR. If you get renter's insurance, this is true. There are certain catastrophic things that will wipe you out. Getting life insurance, at least if you don't have children, at least get enough to bury you. What I didn't want, so now I own a home. So I have enough life insurance that'll pay for the house if something happens to me. But when I um, didn't own a home, I at least had enough insurance where my mother could bury me without her having to have a fish fry or beg somebody to bury me. Okay. And the truth is, many of you know, I was married, my husband passed. I had to ask somebody for money to help me bury him. It was very humiliating. So, yes, you absolutely want to have at least 25, 40, 25, 30, $40,000, might be $15 a month for you. But if something happens to you, your parents, siblings, whomever can bury you with dignity. Even if you're like, hey, I don't care if you bury me, cremate me, you just don't want them to have to go into their pockets in order to do that. So, absolutely. A homeowner's insurance, making sure you have enough homeowner's insurance as well. So, again, I own a house. We're having our annual family meeting next week. And one of the things we're looking at is our homeowner's insurance. Do we have enough homeowners insurance on the house? Are we protected enough? So, yes, absolutely right. Patty is here saying, yes, I had to go through hoops to get my ex husband removed as my beneficiary. It is true, but it is so important to do that because I knew of a woman who passed. She had a 5-year old. The ex husband was not the child's father. The ex husband walked away with all of the money when that lady passed. So, and didn't give the 5-year old daughter a cent. Okay, it happens. It happens a lot. So also get your screenings at the doctors and ask about tests that aren't on the standard panels. The U.S. Independent Task Force has a whole website. That's good to know. That is definitely good to know. Get the best health insurance that you can. Don't cheap out on your health. This is true. My next step, Purple Rain, is getting the concierge medicine. That's my next step. So I need a little bit more coins for that. But yes, my next step is getting concierge medicine. Not all Blue Cross Blue Shield plans are the same, for instance. This is true. This is true. This is true. So, and I will say this as well with regards to the insurance is at least um, depending on the kind of insurance you have, if you have a good health savings account, putting money in that HSA, putting money away, it to be the stopgap between like, you know, if you have, an emergency is important. That's important. So, um, finally, my UMBW spending plan step number 10 is, of course, to max out your investments in your retirement. So, again, the hierarchy for me is number one is make sure you have an emergency fund. If your job, if your job is, you know, like stable, then 1 to 3,000 is fine. Um, if your job is not stable, of course, you want to have 6 to 9 months. But for many of us, we have stable jobs. $1 to $3,000 is fine, right? It's like to get started. The second thing you need in Financial Fabulosity is your level up spending money. That's the second thing that you allocate. What are we allocating for? Skills, any kind of technical skills that we need, any kind of soft skills that we need, the training for that. Our networking money has to come out of that. Okay. Making sure that we're budgeting enough where we can monkey branch and level up. That's part two. The next thing we're budgeting for, health and beauty. The halo effect is real. Health and beauty, especially as a young lady, health and beauty is number 3. Number 4 is at that point, you're dealing with high interest credit card debt. Getting rid of as many high interest credit card payments as possible. Then the next thing, so important, is all of your insurances, making sure that you have enough insurance to protect you from any kind of catastrophic issue. Then the final thing is maxing out your retirement and your investments. Okay. Um, this is December 1st. So between now and the end of the year is a time for you to really go back to step one. What's your 2026 financial goal? What does monkey branching look like to you in 2026? For me, it's tripling my income. It's tripling my network, right? It's going to, it's joining certain associations, branching out a little bit more. I've been thinking about this for the past month. I've been working on my plan for the past month. I put money today into my 2026 financial level up. I put my boss's money in. thus far. Last month, we signed up for a few things because many of you know that I actually run the mortgage company for my boss, and yeah, I told him, okay, we've done well. This is what I've invested in. He was like, fine, no problem, you know. But the thing that I did today, I chose to pay out of pocket for myself today for what I want because I'm like, I know what my 2026 goals are. I know what I need in order to get there. So let's see what else you ladies are saying here. Purple is saying, also, if you ever need a lawyer, look at the Better Business Bureau reviews and check if they're registered with the bar. Better yet, get a referral. Get a referral. So, our former business attorney, still our business attorney, he knows everybody. He is a shark. He is the kind of guy that you want in the courtroom on your side. Whenever we have a legal issue, like we go to him. Who do you know? There's a couple of other lawyers that I know because of the type of work that I do. That I'm like, I need a real estate attorney, and there are two that I go to for referrals. So that's one of the best things you could have is like, who do you know legally? Who do you know medically that will say, no, you need to go and talk to this person over here and tell them I sent you, right? And then I have my general like mayor of our area, quote unquote, mayor of our area, who I'm like, I need this, I need that. He's like, go see that person, tell him I sent you. So, yeah, but that's your net worth network. So that's what you're investing in so that when you need people, they'll like say, go talk to that person, tell them I sent you. And that's what you want. So, um, Adrian is saying if you can have a year's worth of emergency savings is crazy out here. So again, it depends on I agree with you, Adrian. If having a year's worth of emergency savings, first of all, if your job is a little weird, then yes, definitely. But sometimes we save so much that we don't have the money to level up. So that's the only time where I'm like, if you are choosing between saving like a whole bunch of money and having money to truly level up, and I'm not talking about getting a degree. I'm talking about networking, going to a specific association, going to specific conferences, meeting the right people, having the right skill sets that we need, technical and soft skills, then yes, there's a time when that's when you want to invest in. So let's see here. Ashley was saying, Miss Cherie, you're giving us the glow up cheat code, girl. You need it. You need it, girl. We better glow up. Um, yes, we want to put our money in high yield savings accounts and money market accounts, and anything where, if we need access to those emergency funds, we can quickly get it. Absolutely. So her brain is saying also, if you invest in index funds and ETFs, look globally, not just US market. This is true. Diversification is key. True, true. I would also have a lawyer fund. True. Just for retainers and hourly rates, so it's not a surprise. Very true. Very true. So, because there will be a time in your life when you need a lawyer and you need to have the retainer. Absolutely true. And referrals are key. Yep. Yep. So, that is the discussion for the evening. I wanted to come here, have this conversation with you. These are all the things that I'm working on putting in place. And I've been working on over the past couple of years. Many of you know that I rebranded myself and I switched careers about 3 years ago now. I think it's my fourth year. So yeah, and I had a time when My finances were low, getting low. Like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? And now I'm rebuilding again. And yeah, 2026 is going to be prayerfully a great year for me. But the work that I'm doing now is what's going to make 2026 great, right? And it's not just about saving a whole lot of money. It's about having a UMBW spending plan. So, Main Femme Fatale is saying in an interview, a man said he has over 2,000 phone contacts from events, each saved with a brief note on how he met them and what they discuss. Now, this is smart if periodically he reaches out to them as well in order to follow up with them. If he has information in his phone and phone contacts, but when he calls that person, they don't know who he is, then that is sometimes not as useful as having 100 people who really know who you are, who you pick up the phone, femme fatale, and you say, "This is femme fatale," and they're like, "Who? Uh, okay." Or if they're like, "Hey girl, how you doing? What's going on? Oh, you need a referral to XYZ? No problem. I'm gonna three-way text between you and them and let them know to take really good care of you." So it's not about quantity, it's about quality. Because when you have quality, then that monkey branching becomes a lot easier. So please like the live stream on your way out, ladies. Please like the live stream. And I will see you all next Money Monday. Be fabulous. Take care. Bye.